Hello, good day. I am Patricia Marisi Villela, a second-year FAMED resident, and today, for my re-echo, I will be discussing about a parallel session entitled Caring for the Youth, a Multidisciplinary Approach to Managing Common Mental Health Condition in Adolescents. The speaker talked about the topic listening to adolescents, strengthening psychosocial care with Shades tool. So the slides that I will be presenting are the actual slides used during the session. However, I added some supplementary points and explanation based on the discussion of the speaker. So as an overview, the Shades screening offer a standard flow to the adolescent psychosocial interview that is rooted in a strength-based approach, but also explores emotional well-being and adolescent risk behavior. So the Shade stands for strength, school, home, activities, drugs or the substance use, emotional, eating, depression, S for sexuality, S for safety. So the shade screening is a modified heads screening, which has been taught in adolescent medicine and pediatric programs for many years. So we all know that adolescence is a critical time developmentally, marked by a rapid physical, emotional, and social changes. So during this stage, individuals begin to form their identity, develop independence, and navigate complex relationships. So because of this transition, effective psychosocial care and assessment are just as important, if not more important, than the clinical assessment. Adolescents are more likely to disclose sensitive concerns only when they feel heard, they feel respected, and not judged. That is why using open-ended and gradual question is important to improve risk detection, um, engagement in care, and adherence to intervention. I will be sharing to you the Shades tool as a practical approach that will help us, family physician, explore their adolescent psychosocial domains and uncover underlying concerns affecting their overall well-being. In traditional way, this is risk focused. Interviewing adolescents are often the question goes like this: Do you smoke? Are you depressed? These are very straightforward and can sometimes make them feel judged or attacked. So, in contrast with this shades approach, it highlights strength based. So, there's shifting the conversation towards resilience and protective factors by asking the questions: What are you proud of? And what help you cope when you're stressed? This way, you can make your interactions more engaging, supportive, and effective. So let's have a case scenario here. This is TJ, a 16-year-old male from Quezon City. He is accompanied by his mother, who is the one primarily concerned about her son. So the mother volunteers information and says, our chief complaint, mahina kumain at laging pagod mula ng 2 buwan na. So JM appears thin, he avoids eye contact and gives short answers. So his mother reports decreased appetite, frequent headaches, increased time on phone, declining school performance, but the patient has no known chronic illness and immunization is up to date is claimed. So here are the domains of shades in practice. And then side by side, I will be sharing how the communication would work and reveal in this scenario. So take note that shade screening has been designed for direct questioning of an adolescent in a private setting after trust has been earned, but it is not meant to be used verbatim in programmatic setting, but elements of the screening can be helpful in this setting. So in strength, start with strength to build rapport and resilience. So you ask, what are you proud of? What do you enjoy doing? So in the case of CJ, he initially hesitates, but later shares he enjoyed drawing anime. He's previously active in school, art, contest. The protective factor here can be the creative interest. You can see that CJ is more on the creative aspect. So in school, so S, we have two S. So the second is school. You explore academic life and peer relationships. So academic performance, you also assess for bullying or school stress. So in this case, CJ answered that he is a grade 10 student in a public high school with recent drop in grades. And also he reports being teased for being payat and weird. So occasionally he has absences in school. For the third, the home, SSH. Now we proceed with the home. When we take a look at home, we assess family dynamics and support system. So we can use family assessment tools here, such as a family map and the APGAR. Even when the family genogram that we are very familiar, we can see that the relationship of parents and guardians at home, we can now probe on JM on this case. So we ask, who do you live with? Are there any changes in the family? So in the case of JM, he lives with his mother and grandfather and two other younger siblings. He has a biological father but is not at home and is an OFW with minimal contact. So another question that we can use is, could you talk with anyone in your family if you were stressed? Who would you go first? So he describes that that his stepfather as strict, and then he feel unable to open up his feeling at home. So that's his answer. For the activities, we understand how adolescents uh, should spend their time. So we probe on their hobbies. Are your friends treating you well? Do you have a best friend or adult you can trust outside your family? What kind of things do you do just for fun? So the activities, the sample questions. So when we probe JM, he likes to play basketball and he verbalized that he spent 6 to 8 hours a day on social media and has limited interpersonal interaction. So now we go to the drugs or the substance use, which is we screen for risk behavior now. So screen for risk behavior such as alcohol, tobacco use, vaping, and drugs. So CJ denies alcohol and drug use, and he admits trying vape once with his peers. For the emotion and the eating, some of the highlights that we need to probe is to evaluate mental health and body image, mood changes, anxiety, depression, eating patterns, and concerns. So CJ reports persistent sadness, difficulty in sleeping, he has loss of appetite. So we now can see here that we can probably screen um, for PHQA positive for depressive symptoms. He also denies binging and purging. So next is sexuality. How are we going to discuss this? So very sensitive na need dito na part. So we discuss identity, relationship, and sexual health. So in sexual health, you ask for sexual orientations and sexual activities. Um, we have to ask for consent and protection. So here, CJ denies the identifies as male, unsure about sexual orientation. He had not disclosed this to his family, and he reports anxiety about being judged. And lastly is for the safety and suicide, we identify the risk. This is the last S, but this is very important because we identify high risk situations such as self-harm or the suicidal ideation, violence, abuse, and online safety. Yeah. So initially, he denies concern, but with gentle probing, he admits to have passive thoughts. So, but passive sana nawala na lang ako, but he has no active plan. So he reports online exposure to self-harm content. And the most important thing that we should note here as a doctor is when we see red flags such as suicidal ideation. So having highlighted the shades tool, what we do now that we have probed and unrevealed the case of TJ. So again, no, the key issues identified in TJ is we have adolescent depression, we have bullying and social isolation, we have family connection difficulties, we have emerging identity concern, and a passive suicidal ideation. So it's very important that we create a management plan in primary care. In this case of TJ, we have to identify the immediate safety assessment. So we evaluate suicide risk, we involve a trusted adult while maintaining appropriate confidentiality. Also, psychosocial intervention, we provide supportive counseling, we encourage gradual re-engagement in the strength, especially the arts, and we address the bullying in school. For the family engagement, with consent, we discuss the general concerns with the mother. We also promote supportive communication. For the mental health referral, we refer to a psychologist and psychiatrist, and we utilize local mental health services. So for the follow-up, close follow-up within 1 to 2 weeks, and we monitor CJ's mood safety. So the key principles in using shades is there should be confidentiality. So confidentiality first. It is must that we clearly explain the limits, particularly on safety and harm to self. So when safety is compromised, we have to inform the mother and rightfully monitor. Normalize questions and situations to reduce stigma. So in the clinics, before asking, we can tell them our first-hand experience. So you say, I usually ask this when talking to patients. Okay lang ba na mangutan ako sa imuha ani? So you use open-ended question to encourage dialogue and probe his thoughts. Also, be culturally sensitive. Let's adapt the local context and values and also avoid assumptions. So let adolescents tell their stories. So for the clinical tips, we begin with less sensitive topics such as the strength, the school, and then gradually transition to a more sensitive area, which is sexuality and suicide, which is usually the last um, in the shades tool. We use non-verbal cues such as the eye contact, nodding, no, and we allow silence, don't rush responses, and we document findings systematically. So for the conclusion, the Shades tool is more than a checklist. It is a structured conversation that centers on listening. So by creating a safe space and systematically exploring key life domains, healthcare providers can better support adolescents in navigating challenges and building resilience. So that's all for my re-echo. Thank you for listening.